FusionGamers.com.
Now what you want to do is you want to avoid the, there's a clock that's coming to wake you up because basically you're in a dream world. And if you run into the clock, which is chasing me around here, you're gonna wake up and the level will be over. But if you make it back to nights, before you run into the alarm clock, you get to continue on. Luckily something sprung me into the water there. He's not exactly the fastest little tyke. Oh, I ran into an invisible wall.
Yeah, the camera kind of stays pretty stationary. And, well, not stationary as being fixed on your character.
Yeah, it's better to be locked onto your character than
It works well for this when you're flying around.
Yeah. Now that says that the night is over and you have to go back to the title screen. Now you have to destroy the Idia capture with 20 blue chips. So you want to collect the blue chips. And then you want to place the Idias on the Idia Palace. That's your basic run through of the game. Now, as I was there was also a special edition of this game that was released for the Saturn called Christmas Nights, which was basically a holiday-themed version of Nights. It was, I believe, released in Christmas of '97, and it was another push for them to try and sell the console. Unfortunately for Nights in the Saturn, nothing really took off for them.
Yeah. I don't think anything could save the Saturn.
No, they tried so many different things, too. They tried doing online. You could buy a special adapter that would hook up to your Saturn, and you could take it online. One of the earliest consoles to do so. I mean, the Intellivision did like a rudimentary version of that, and Sega had attempted this before with linking things by doing the Sega Channel promotion with the Genesis, but this had been the first real online attempt at a console.
Yeah, and they did decently with it, and helped set up the foundation for what would become SegaNet for the Dreamcast.
And this game just really pulls you in, and
yeah, it's very you know, it just gives you that feeling of freedom with how Nights just flies through the air. I guess it's man's constant desire to fly and be with the birds. And you get to do it here, and it's really well done. It's really smooth and fluid and just really great.
And they'll flip you into other things, and just really, you feel so free with this game. And I think that's what they were going for with the Saturn, but it just never took off for them. And, you know, we hate to end this on, like, a bad note, but Sega there really wasn't too much they could do for the Saturn. It just kind of died an early death, and there really wasn't anything they could do about it.
Yeah, and as we discussed, they were just bleeding from every orifice at this time, and the Saturn was not the solution, and ended up just making things worse to the point where, you know, eventually Sega had to almost go bankrupt before they would turn things around, and what it really took was for them stepping out of the hardware business, which I think was the right move for them, because they made great games for years and years, and they just never had the right system.
Yeah.
You know, despite however many attempts they would make at hardware, they could just never quite get it right.
Yeah, the Genesis was their only true, you know, link to success.
And in many ways, the Super Nintendo was superior. It
Yeah.
had better marketing, and I think that's really what helped push it.
And the Saturn just could not compete with Sony and Nintendo. I mean, they could hold their own against Nintendo a little bit better, but against Sony, just dropping in like a juggernaut, they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just time to lay the, well, I guess if we can get back up here. There's Knights. They won't let me in. Aww. Well, I guess night over for the Saturn.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Console Wars of the Past 4. This is the Sega Saturn era, and if you don't remember your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And unfortunately, Sega never remembered.
Well, they never remembered, but they figured out the hard way when eventually they went bankrupt.
Yeah, I guess that was their way of learning.
Eventually, when the money ran out, then they couldn't continue doing that.
Yeah, they learned the hard way. If you remember your history, you don't learn the hard way. You learn the easy way, because you know not to make that mistake.
Or it just happens and you go, I told you so.
Well, that too. But
so, Sega
it was a good attempt.
definitely is an example of some things not to do in the video game industry.
Yeah, don't follow Sega's path, because it will only lead to ruin.
But they did make some great games.
Yeah, they've made some fantastic games over the years, and they still are. So, I say we close this out and wave goodbye to the Saturn. Later, Sega.
Goodbye.
あとはドリームキャストの発売を待つばかりだ。セガサターンしろ。セガサターンしろ。セガサターンしろ。
セガタ三四郎は君たちの心に真剣遊戯セガサタ
You can't hear.